Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. This is our take. We are your hosts. I'm Ocean.
I'm Taylor.
I'm Connor.
And ladies and gentlemen, Connor and Zachy are joining us on this episode because this is going to be your guys' weekly breakdown of The Last of Us. Today we're going to be covering episode 6. And it may look a little bit different to you guys. Obviously, we're all coming to you guys from different physical locations, and we're doing this virtually, talking to each other. And unfortunately, this weekend our schedules just didn't work out for us to get in person, but we still want to get you guys our reaction and our breakdown of episode 6 because it's an important one. It has a lot of stuff that happens, and it's pretty exciting. So we're gonna do this in traditional fashion. Like always, we'll talk about it spoiler free first. Give you guys our recommendations like that first. Get some scores out there, and then we'll dive into some spoilers. All right. So, boys, you ready? Because
I'm
this
ready.
This is a good episode, or at least a lot to talk about, right? So episode 6, right? Episode 6 of 9. We're through to we're heading down that home stretch to the final, and there's a lot that happens in this episode. A lot of stuff that was added, like things that didn't happen in the game. Some twists to what did happen in the game. Kind of similar, staying along the same like blueprint of what they've already been doing for the rest of the season, right? They're adding in some stuff, but they're also reworking other stuff and staying true to some stuff. So it's continuing on with that pattern. But how are you guys feeling as far as just overall? Is the show continuing to progress in the right direction, or are you guys seeing more of the things that you're worried about and the things that we've talked about in the past episodes? But how are you guys feeling? We'll start with Taylor. How you feeling about episode 6?
Episode 6, it was interesting. And there's like some things, like smaller things, I guess, that I didn't really care for, and it kind of felt a little weird. Even though I know, like, obviously what's gonna be like the end, or generally what
Right,
the end result
goal.
is, it just felt strange in its current time, like for certain things that happen,
Mm-hmm.
But overall, like, I thought it was still enjoyable.
Okay. All right. What about you, Zachy? How you feeling?
I feel like it's going down a good path. I mean, I like how they're changing things, so I do enjoy where they're going with it so far.
Yeah. Yeah. Connor.
Okay. I liked the first half, maybe 3/4 of this episode. I did not like the last quarter or so of the episode. Like Taylor said, I did enjoy some of the things that they changed. Some of it felt a little weird. How it's being presented now. But those were very, like he said, kind of small things that didn't really change how I felt about it until the last quarter of this episode.
Okay. For me, like I said before, like I like that they're kind of staying along this same blueprint of changing some stuff, not changing other stuff. I have a major issue with one of the characters, and like at this point, it's starting to degrade the quality of the show for me.
Yeah.
And I'll talk about. I'm pretty sure you can all guess who.
Yeah.
But like for me, at this point, I'm not okay with it anymore, and it is affecting pieces of the show, and therefore directly affecting the quality. But in addition to that, there are a lot of really cool things that happen in this episode, and a lot of emotion, a lot of just things that, like, because we're all people that have played the game, seeing it on screen and in like live action was just cool, and it was a good moment. So yeah, we'll talk about it in the spoiler section, but I am of the opinion that about like 3/4 of the show is still heading on the same trajectory that we've been talking about for the past 5 episodes, but there's one part of it that is just nosediving for me, and it's kind of sad and frustrating. But yeah, I'll explain more in the spoiler session. So before we dive into scores, final recommendations. I mean, personally, I feel like if you've made it this far, you might as well just stick with it.
Yeah, at this
Yeah.
point, you're
Yep.
pretty much committed.
Yeah.
Um,
I
You're already
don't
over
think you should
halfway
stop
through.
watching now.
Yeah, even if
so
you're at the point where you're like, oh, I don't really like this show that much, it's kind of heading in the wrong direction.
you've
Like,
already
you
invested so
should,
much time.
yeah, you
Yeah.
might as well just finish it so that way you have some level of closure. But I don't know, Zachary, do you feel differently?
No, I feel like if you're ready this far in, might as well just go to the end, no matter how good or bad it gets.
Yeah, I agree.
Hi.
Yeah. What's up, little man?
What's
Love you, bud.
You want to say hi to everybody real quick?
Say hi to the show, bud. Say hi to the show.
Say hi.
Hello, boy.
Say
How's it
hi.
going, Ezekiel?
Welcome to the show, dude.
Bye, Ezekiel.
Sorry.
No, you're good, bro.
There you
It's
go.
family. Family is most important. All right, so
It's all about family.
let's dive into some scores. All right. Again, 1 through 10, Zachy.
I know.
I'm gonna
I
say
got
this
it, I
every
got it.
episode, just so you know. But 1 through 10. Okay. We'll start with you. What's your score, buddy?
I give it a 7.
7. Okay. Connor.
I'm gonna still give this episode a 9. But that may change. I don't know. It may change how I may change how I feel
After we talk.
after we
and-
talk through it, because
yeah.
it is kind of like not everything is super clear in my head.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to kind of remember some more stuff. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I feel like
stay
I'll
at a
be
9.
about this similar
Yeah.
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
where it's
fair.
like it's on the verge of like possibly being changed.
Right. It's
Yeah.
it's right on the verge of like not
Going
being a
down.
9. Yeah.
Well, I am gonna go down on my score. I know for the past 4 episodes I've gone 9. I'm going down to an 8, and honestly, like for me, I'm on the verge of going down to a 7. So, but I'm gonna go with an 8, and yeah, we'll talk and see if it does go down. What about you, Taylor?
I believe I'm just gonna stay with the same score, which is an 8, if I'm remembering.
You've been an 8 pretty much the whole time, except for the
Okay.
first episode.
Yeah.
All right. So Zachary gave it a 7, Connor gave it a 9, I gave it an 8, Taylor gave it an 8. All right, those are your scores, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna dive into some spoilers now. So if you guys haven't watched this episode yet, go ahead and check it out. I think by the time this episode comes out, episode 7 might even be out too. But just check it out, watch it. I do think that, again, some of the things that happen should be experienced watching it on screen versus hearing it through our voices. So go
Yeah.
check that out. And then once you're done, go ahead and come back. We'll dive into some spoilers. We'll explain to you kind of like what happened in the game versus the show, any changes they made, stuff like that. And then we'll dive into our thoughts on whether or not it's good. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be your official.
Spoiler alert.
All right, boys. So I'll start off with the fact that I am I'm done with Ellie. I'm done with the way that they're portraying her and the way that she's being written, the language that she's using, a lot of stuff. I'm sick of it. I don't know if maybe I'm just like not remembering the game correctly or something, but to me this is just not who Ellie is. Like this like hardened, just asshole of a person
Yeah. No.
that fucking yells at somebody that's staring at her from across the room like she's gonna go over there and stab her in the face with her little knife.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. To me, it's just not who she is at all. And I can understand taking some creative liberties to distinguish the show from the game and whatnot, but when you're doing an adaptation of a game, I personally think that you need to have at least some uh some truancy to the game. Like you need to have some of it, right? And to me, there's almost nothing. Like outside of some of the visual things that they've done with her costume, and the clothes that she wears, and obviously, what happens to her. There's not like I don't see a whole lot of actual Ellie in there, and
Yeah.
I don't like it at all. There's to me there's way too much swearing.
Yeah.
I think I think I remember her swearing like periodically here and there, like it may have
Yeah.
come up. I know Joel did. It wasn't like swearing wasn't a part of the game, but the fact that Bella Ramsey's character or Ellie, or her rendition of it, swears in like every sentence that she said that she talks, like I just to me it's too much, and it begins to degrade her as an authentic character. Like I had a conversation with my dad today before we watched or before we watched the episode, and he was talking to me about how, like, from a technical aspect, because he's a Mr. Actor Man.
Yeah.
From a technical aspect, she is constantly trying to appear as a hardened alpha type character that there's no fluctuation in her character, and because of that there's no fluctuation, her character becomes or starts to become unbelievable, because no person is like that. Nobody in real life has just uh, a set character line and doesn't fluctuate at all. It doesn't have any ups or downs or lefts or rights or anything. But because she's just constantly acting like this freaking, I don't even know how to, because it's not even like teen angst anymore. It's just
Yeah,
like
no.
she's just a bitch.
Yeah, it seems
Now.
like she has like that. I don't know what you would characterize it as, but she just hates the world or what it's like her versus the world. You know what I mean? Where it's like
Yeah,
she just fucking
but
hates everybody. It doesn't matter who it is. She doesn't. She thinks she knows everything all the time.
Yeah.
Even though she
she's-
knows nothing.
right,
Yeah.
and
She's
she
not-
She's
doesn't.
supposed to know nothing.
She doesn't take any of like the learning lessons that she does get, and really, it doesn't seem like it really like she really takes it to heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
like
So correct me if I'm wrong, but like that's not who Ellie is in the game,
No, not even close. no.
right?
no.
That's
Like,
not
at least
Ellie
from
is in
what
the-
I remember.
Yeah,
No.
I'm pretty sure this is like
She-
second game Ellie. This is not the Ellie we should know from the first.
Yeah, like
Yeah, this
she's
is the Ellie
portraying an
Ellie
that's
that-
older.
Right.
but
Yeah.
That
this is
just
not what
is
she
on like
should
a
be,
fucking revenge spree that hates everybody. This
Yeah.
is exactly how she would. But it's
Yeah.
like I think that's why they're doing it. It's because they want her to be that Ellie,
They're trying to mesh
next
the
season.
second game
right?
with the first
Which I think
game.
is not.
Yeah, so I think that's
You
retarded.
should
Yeah.
not be
Stupid.
doing that right now because that's
Yeah,
not
because
her
it-
character.
Yeah,
It degrades, like it just takes away from the story that they're trying to tell now.
yeah.
Because
Right.
why do I care about her being the answer to this zombie plague, whatever it is, if she's just a bitch the whole time? Like I don't.
Like it also is like ruining kind of like if you think about the ending that's coming up too, because now you're
Right,
not
the
gonna
ending
care
that
about
we
it.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not gonna care. Like she's a bitch anyways. Like right?
Yeah.
That's just to me. That's how I'm viewing it right now as me. So like
Yeah.
like you said, Osho, the swearing and just like her swearing
Right?
at that girl. I'm pretty sure that girl was Dina from the second
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
she
And it's
was.
just like I don't
They
care.
also
I don't
introduced
care.
Shimmer too.
Yeah, I don't care if she's in the game or in the show. It's just like, why is she just swearing at people? Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, this
Well,
is
it's
too
just-
much.
Yeah, it wasn't the
It's-
swearing that really bothered me. It was just her
it's-
attitude.
Yeah,
of like,
it's just,
Yeah.
it's-
she was basically just like without saying like go fuck yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For no reason. Like
it's so
Yeah.
stupid.
But she swore a lot.
She-
Like,
Yeah,
she
it
does
was
swear
too
a
much.
lot.
It was
Just-
too much.
even in the cabin scene with the two Indian people, which by the way I loved that scene.
That was
Oh.
yeah,
awesome.
I did.
Yeah, but even that scene, she was like a bitch the whole time. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Why are you acting like
Doesn't
this?
listen to Joel. Doesn't
I
do,
Joel
don't,
Joel is just trying to, be safe, but also, get some help. And the two Indian people were hilarious. I loved them.
they're great.
Yeah.
Ellie
Yeah,
was just a bitch.
Ellie's attitude the whole time was like, "We're gonna fucking kill you. We're
Yeah,
gonna kill you
right.
if you
That's
don't
how
give us
I
what we
felt.
want." Like, I was like, "What the fuck, dude?"
Like when she came down the stairs with her gun, she like looked giddy, like she was like ready to like just like it was just I didn't like it. at
Yeah,
all.
it was.
Yeah, she's really excited about like dead people and violence and killing.
Yeah, anything violent.
Yeah, it's just it's
She
too
really
much.
enjoys that, which I really don't like. I
Yeah,
don't.
that's weird.
It's like that
I
psychopath
don't enjoy
element again from that
I
other
don't know
episode.
why Neil Druckmann is writing her like this, but
We
I don't
know
know, I
exactly
don't get
why
it
he
either.
is.
well, yeah, I know why he's writing her
exactly
like
why
this.
he's doing
But
it.
like, it's time to stop, dude. Like,
It
don't-
really
She's
is.
secretly gonna be Abby.
Please shut
Dude,
up.
like, honestly, no. But honestly, think
It's-
about it. She's literally headed straight for that. Like, she's
Yeah,
literally
that's
headed
true.
to be Abby's character.
That's fair. Yeah.
Like, that's she's on that path to become that.
Like
in
at
my,
that
at least,
point, I'm gonna like
my
Abby more than
opinion.
I like her. This is how it's gonna be.
yeah, I think I don't think it's gonna get any better by the time that the show ends. But
yeah. No.
Well, yeah, I mean, they only got 3 episodes left, so like they've already established her as this character that's kind of bitchy, and there's not it's not like they can go back on it at this point.
yeah, I'm hoping that the climax, or what should be the climax, kind of changes her character a bit,
I
like
mean,
how it
maybe,
does in
but-
the game, where it's a pretty big like
Right.
some fucked up shit happens,
Yeah.
But I don't know.
No, you're right. It does, but like I don't know that I would believe it. You
Right.
know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's
Like
true.
I don't know that if she goes through the events that we think are supposed to be coming, and she comes out of it this reserved and humble and respectful person, all of a sudden, like
That's the opposite of what she was.
I'm not
anyways.
gonna. I don't know that I'm gonna believe it.
Yeah, that's the
Well,
only way that I could see them
yeah.
changing it. Is what I'm saying.
Hold on,
I
let's
don't.
pause. Taylor, are you good?
Yeah. Why,
Oh,
you can't
you're
hear me or
frozen
something?
on my screen.
You were frozen for a second.
Oh.
You've been frozen for like a minute or so.
Oh.
I mean, it should be okay. Like
Seems fine on my side.
when we get your okay, all right. As long as your side looks fine, then we should be all right.
Okay.
Because what we're seeing is just like a preview version. It's not actually what we get when we.
Gotcha.
export.
Yeah, it should be
Okay.
fine.
Okay, I just want to make sure because you weren't saying anything, and then yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And pick back. Okay. Yeah. So I just don't know that I would believe it. I don't think that character like change is believable
Sure.
by the events that we think are coming. So
All right. Just I want to question you guys. So,
also, I don't know
oh,
that they're going to be able to do all of everything in 3 episodes.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I kind of doubt it.
Right?
I know for a fact that they aren't. I know that they aren't going to be
Yeah.
able to do it.
There's
unless the fucking last episodes are like 2 hours long. There's no fucking way they're doing it like 45
Even then,
episodes.
I don't know.
Mm,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this to me is like
It's gonna feel really rushed if they
Yeah.
try. If
Yeah.
they do it all in these last episodes.
I feel like we're
can't see
headed
it
for a
feeling satisfied.
I think we're headed for like a Moon Knight situation.
yeah.
That's-
Where the
Yeah.
first like 4 episodes were great and they like were really developing things, and then they just crammed a whole bunch of crap in the last
yeah, that's what it seems.
2 episodes,
Yeah.
and then it ends up being crap.
I don't know.
So-
Maybe the last episodes are like 4 hours long.
I hope.
I mean,
I don't know.
I'm not really opposed to it, but like at the same time, like
Mm.
just why not just make them more episodes?
I
Exactly.
think that would
Yeah.
be kind of bad.
If they had made
Yeah.
it a 10 episode series, I might feel less.
Yeah, but even then,
Apprehensive,
dude, because
But
like at this point, they're probably like is where the story ends of episode 6, where Joel and Ellie start heading to the University of Colorado.
Yeah.
Like at that point in a game, you're only like maybe 2/3 of the way, if that. Like you're like halfway through the game.
Yeah, pretty much. I have a
So-
question. So, like with
Yeah.
Ellie, I don't know if it's just me, but do you ever feel like the scenes they copy and paste from the game with the dialogue? Does that feel
Yeah.
like the completely different Ellie than like the stuff they just put in, like to fill not really filler, but the added their own added stuff? That makes sense.
What
So,
do you
like,
mean?
I know.
So-
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like scenes where like they brand new scenes we haven't seen in the game, like just they made it on their
Sure.
own. And the Ellie in those scenes seems way different from the Ellies they're recreating from the game. Does that
So
make
you're
sense?
saying like you're saying that the or like the character is different
Yeah,
during
it
scenes
just
that are
seems she
ripped
seems
out of the game.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Like,
It
I
seems
would
completely
agree.
different from like
right.
say it's like a brand new scene they added to the show. Like it just doesn't
Yeah,
seem
a
the same.
great
Yeah,
example is Ellie in the cabin scene,
Yeah.
which for you viewers, the cabin scene with the two Indians is not in the game. That's
not even
that's
close.
new. But I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that like Ellie in that versus Ellie
Talking with Joel.
like yeah, talking
When
with
he's
Joel
about
at the
to dip
end,
out,
telling
yeah.
telling him that like everybody always leaves me, please don't leave me, kind of thing. Yeah,
That
I
doesn't
would
seem the
100%
same. Yeah,
agree.
that's not
Those
the
are
same person to me. Not even
Yeah.
close.
I don't expect that kind of response and stuff out of the person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say the best example of that is the fucking psychopath scene underground where she fucking has her serial
stabbing,
killer
yeah.
moment
Yeah.
versus the scene from the game where she's in the truck talking about the fucking, gay porno mag. Like that doesn't match up at all.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
that's a completely different person. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that yeah.
Yeah, that truck scene from episode was that 4, I think, or 5,
Yeah.
where they're driving and
That's
she finds
directly from the game.
Bill's porno. It's great. It's hilarious.
it's a hilarious scene, but it's
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
a different character.
But it's not.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that is a good point. I didn't really think about it that way, that in the scenes that are ripped straight from the game, she does seem different. And maybe that's part of the issue that I have, that there's not a consistent portrayal of Ellie. And so every time it's that fucking psycho version of her, it just is even more pronounced when I see it, and I
Yeah.
just don't like it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you guys think about the rest of the episode, though? I know we've talked a lot about Ellie and about our issues with that, but there's a lot of other stuff that happens in the episode. So let's talk about, like, for example, the fact that we get Jackson, right?
Yeah.
The settlement of Jackson, which we in the game we don't get it this early, right?
Yeah.
It's
In the
later.
game it's just
after
the hydro
college,
plant.
right? Right.
Yeah.
They find Tommy at the hydro plant because Tommy is trying to fix it with a group of people from the Jackson settlement.
I thought
right?
they find Tommy at Jackson because he goes to the front gate and they almost shoot him. That's what happens in game, right?
I thought
No,
Tommy
you don't
and
go to
Joel find
Jackson
each other
at
at the
all.
plant.
Yeah, you don't go to
Yeah.
Jackson at all in the first game.
You don't go to Jackson at all until the second game, right?
Yeah.
What? I mean, think of the outpost they live in, right? Isn't the first game he arrives with Ellie in the front gate, and Tommy's like, "That's my damn brother." That's a scene from the first game. I'm pretty sure. Am I just wrong? I'm
I
pretty
don't
sure
know.
that's from the game. I'm pretty sure I just watched
I-
it too on YouTube.
You might be right.
They were in the hydro.
I thought
later on.
I thought that they found each other at the hydro plant.
No, so the hydro's later on when Joe went to go talk privately with his brother to go see if they can turn the power in the hydro on for their town, so they have power. And they had a whole talk, and he tried giving the photo of his daughter, and Joe was like, "Nah, I don't want this." They almost got into a fight.
Interesting. Okay.
I maybe I'm wrong. I just thought that was
No. I mean,
I don't remember. So.
you could be right. I'm trying to remember, like, the series versus the game. plus
Yeah,
game
the show is
related,
different. So the show
whatever.
they meet by crossing the
Right.
River of Death. That's not in the game at all either.
Well, they don't meet at crossing the river.
Well, they don't meet,
They-
but
they
meet his
they
wife.
meet
Maria,
his wife.
Yeah.
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 And she, yeah, and then they take him to
Yeah.
Jackson. And then Tommy, in the series though, I actually really liked it. I really liked the scene of the dog, like, sniffing
Yeah, that was a cool scene.
Joel and sniffing Ellie. Like, I was like, uh-oh,
Right.
what's gonna happen here? Like, I was like, huh. Okay, Ellie might die.
It gave me a lot of,
obviously she can't die, but
Walking Dead vibes.
Yeah.
that is funny that you say that, because that's how I felt when they were showing Jackson.
The same thing.
Like when they
like,
showed the wall.
well, them on the horses on top
Yeah.
of them arriving at Jackson. The whole
Right.
time I was like, oh, Walking Dead, cool.
Yeah. No. I agree. I definitely got those vibes. definitely was waiting for a clicker to just start ravaging the neighborhood
Yeah.
because the wall never holds, and somebody always gets bit or somebody always breaches the wall. But yeah, I definitely got those vibes. Um, but I enjoyed it. I liked that they kept a lot of the like dialogue and stuff between Joel and Tommy.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised actually about how much of it they kept. I expected them to make it a little bit more um friendly, I guess, or just more like brotherly love kind of thing. I didn't expect them to keep it so stark and
Close to the game.
kind of yeah. Yeah, because in the game, like they're kind of
They're
ruthless towards each other.
they're pretty
Um,
rough.
But I mean, if any of you out there have brothers, and you understand why,
Yeah. So what?
Yeah.
From what I can find, from what I can see online,
yeah. Give us the lowdown.
they meet at the hydroelectric dam, not at the town,
Mm.
and then it
That's what I
says
thought.
they traveled to Jackson County and they come across a hydroelectric dam and surprised to find him there. And then Tommy introduces them to his wife and everything at the electric plant.
Right.
So
And
they're not the town then, or they're at the front gate. That's a dam. That the scene at all I'm thinking about?
I don't think so.
That's at the dam, not the town.
Oh, okay. So I will.
Maybe
Okay.
they're at like the front door of the dam or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's my bad.
And Tommy.
That's my bad.
No, it's okay. We all haven't played the game in a little while. And,
Yeah, I don't remember either.
Yeah.
things are foggy. So, but that's why we're doing this so we can remember. Yeah, I don't know. What did you guys think? What did you guys think about the whole Jackson County or Jackson settlement? About it all.
I liked it. I mean,
I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool that we get to see a prelude to what is more than likely going to be in season 2.
Yeah.
And we get to kind of see the setup of how everything's going to look once season 2 comes around and plays out from there. And like you said, we get to see one of the characters from season 2. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Shimmer. Dina.
Yeah. Dina. Tommy's wife. Is she still named Maria?
Yeah.
She's a different person in the
Yeah.
show.
His
but-
name Marina show.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tommy's wife Maria. I don't know that she's pregnant in the game.
I don't think
I
she was.
I don't remember that.
I
yeah.
don't think she was either because in the second game they don't have kids. So
Right.
I think that's new, but I think that kind of was just put in there to
Well, they had to
steal
give Tommy
an
a
excuse not to.
reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, a reason to be changed.
Yeah.
Wasn't a very good one, but
Yeah.
Yeah, like imagine your brother got a woman pregnant and then just stopped talking to you.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. I'd be pretty fucking pissed.
That's
Yeah, so
I mean, what the hell?
that whole confrontation, it kind of didn't sit well with me on how, like, I thought it was done better in the game where it wasn't really about like he wasn't purposely not talking to Joel, and it wasn't like
Yeah.
he was trying to avoid Joel or whatever. And it was more just out of circumstance that they couldn't talk to each other because
Yeah,
they didn't have
didn't
any
they
power.
they couldn't get power to the radio, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But in the show, they make it like, no, I've moved on from you. I don't want to which
Yeah.
I don't like. As having a brother myself, there's no way that you know what I mean. Like I would that's not something I
Yeah.
would say to my brother because it's not like they're in like an abusive relationship where
In the game they were.
well, where he's like fucking forcing him to do horrible shit. You know what I mean? Like they went their separate ways, but that doesn't mean you have to
Right.
I don't know.
No, I get what you're saying.
It's always about family. You know what I mean? It's all about family.
Family.
as we know from
I don't know,
Fast,
Taylor, what-
Fast 10.
What were you saying, Taylor?
I I thought the lead up to Jackson is cool. The town looks good. I do have a lot of problems with that though. Just kind of like,
Again, resources.
yeah,
Yeah.
on another level almost. And then I do enjoy the moment that they have together with Joel meeting Tommy.
Yeah.
But the conversations they have thereafter that you guys were talking about, not a big fan of it. It just creates this very Ant-Man feeling for Joel in this show. If you guys have
Mm.
watched our last episode on the new Ant-Man,
Yeah.
you'll know what I'm talking about. I kind of feel like that happens
Of
in this
shitting on the hero.
Yeah.
on Joel.
Yep.
Not even necessarily to consider him a hero, but I mean
He's
he is
not
he is
really.
our hero. But
Right.
within the world, like he's not necessarily a hero, but he's not a complete piece of shit either. But they
yeah,
treat
like
him
I was
that.
saying, his brother doesn't treat him like that in the game. You know what I mean? He still treats him as his brother, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Look, man, this is my situation, but whatever you need me to do, you tell me, and I'll do it." Right?
Yeah.
Because I'm your fucking brother.
Well, in the game, it seems like it's more of a like, hey man, like let's figure this shit out together kind of thing.
Right.
Whereas in this one, it's more of like, oh, I moved on from you because of the things you used to make me do, or the things that we've done together,
Yeah.
trying to atone for my sins kind of thing.
But even
Yeah.
so, even he kind of like flips a little bit. And
he puts the
initially he's
blame
like,
all on Joel.
well, initially he's like, "Oh, it's all your fault," and then he's like, "Wait,
Yeah.
but we did that." Later on, when they talk again, and then it's
Yeah.
like, "Wait, what's going on here? Are you with him? Or are you not with him?" Like, I mean, obviously you left him, so like you
You're
did
not
what you
that
did.
with him.
But
Yeah.
how why are you now pretending like you understand what you guys were doing? But earlier you were like, "No, that was all your fault. Fuck you."
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't like it.
I mean, I felt like earlier he was upset with Joel because Joel had no reaction to anything other than bad reactions to anything about his life.
Well,
Like
to be
anything
honest,
good he was saying, Joel was just like, "Fuck it," like I don't care.
He only says one thing, and in the current situation, I probably would be the same. Like, I don't think
Yeah.
it's
Wasn't-
really something you like. It's different if, like, you had that announcement right now where everything is normal.
Yeah.
But in that
Right.
situation, I don't think it should matter as much. Like, sure, like, congrats, I guess, but like, there's a lot of stuff going on right now.
Right.
Yeah, like you
And
have the
I'm just gonna
potentially.
say it too. I also just don't like Maria, so
Yeah.
that might be like factoring into that. But
Can we talk about how cringe that scene of her and Ellie, of her cutting Ellie's hair was?
Mhm.
What the fuck, dude? It was so cringe.
Yep.
Because the whole time, like, it's a scene designed to break down the barrier of Ellie and her callous nature and trying to, get Mariah to connect with Ellie.
Yeah.
And on Mariah's side, she does. Like, if you were to separate the two's conversation and listen to the audio separately from each other, the things that Maria says and the way that she says it and the responses that she gives to Ellie's questions, it sounds like somebody that is connecting with someone.
Yeah.
But then you listen to Ellie's side of it, and Ellie's like, again, this bitchy character that is giving her these fucking kind of asshole responses about stuff until Joel's daughter is mentioned. But like, I was just like, this scene is stupid.
Yeah.
Like, why you're cutting this girl's hair, trying to get to know her, trying to give her a sense of normalcy or whatnot. But the whole time she's acting like a bitch towards you, and you're just taking it on the chin like like it's nothing, and then you're responding to her like you would if you were all buddy friends with her.
Yeah.
It's horrible in my opinion.
I didn't quite feel the same. What I mean by that is I don't think either of them were actually good.
No.
Because Maria honestly wasn't really connecting. She was kind of just being a piece of shit trying to like feed this idea that she should fucking basically hate and leave Joel for her own good, even though she has no idea who she is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
out
that's
of
true.
nowhere.
That was yeah. She was kind of painting Joel in a bad light,
but she doesn't
saying like,
know
"Do you know what
either
he's
of
done?"
them.
Yeah.
And because all she knows of him is whatever Tommy's told him.
Tommy says, yeah.
And she doesn't know who Ellie is. So why are you giving this information and having this kind of conversation? It just doesn't make sense to me. And both of the reactions were just stupid, and I hated both of them.
The whole
Yeah,
scene. Oh, go Connor.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say I agree, and I think the scene absolutely did not need to be there. I think it had really no purpose, and it doesn't even fit her character anyway. Ellie obviously doesn't fucking like anybody in this town or care, as you see from the scene earlier where she was like all fucking attitude in the cafeteria, and she fucking like didn't give a shit about anybody. You know what I mean? And then now she's like, she gets the note like, come next door to see me or whatever from Maria, and she's like, okay, like,
I'm gonna come next door,
like her character would just be like, no, fuck you, and like do her own thing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's what she should have done,
right? From her
trying to stay true,
right?
To
the show Ellie.
Yeah,
the whole scenes after with the movie and like her just running out to the street. I was like, what? I don't understand. Like, what's happening?
I mean, it kind of happens in the game, right? Like she does overhear Joel and Tommy talking, and
but the movie,
and then she ends up running away.
Yeah.
Right? She goes to that like farmhouse or whatever. It has to be saved again.
Yeah,
but
it's still for me. It's just like
it was just it was their version of it, right? They were just trying to tell a different version without it being the same thing.
Yeah, I think the setting, like the set piece of Jackson, is really cool. I think they redid it in a like almost 1-to-1, but the characters and everything else in it, I'm not really sure that it doesn't really get me excited to see it again in the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, go through all of the fucking like. I know I'm not gonna care about anybody in this town. You know what I mean? Like,
do you think that they did that on purpose? Do you think that they did it on purpose to save developing their characters for the second season?
They didn't need to.
Or do you think it would have been better? Do you think it would have been better for them to introduce some of them so that there's familiarity when it comes up next season?
I don't know. I mean,
I think it'd be too much, honestly.
Yeah, because it like part 2 is like kind of a big jump between part. Like there's quite a jump between part 1 and part 2.
Yeah, it's a huge time skip. Pretty sure a couple years, right? Time skip.
Yeah, it's a few years. Probably.
Maybe like a 5-year time skip.
She has to be at least like
19
or 20.
Yeah. She's like a young adult now.
Yeah. So I don't know. I
don't really see the point of introducing him at all.
Yeah, it's not like none of the characters that when I played The Last of Us Part 2, which I regret, like none of the characters that I met in the fucking town I gave a shit about at all. You know, besides Tommy, which I'm not excited. This Tommy is not the same Tommy from the game. Like how they're doing Ellie's character, I feel like they're kind of not doing Tommy's character justice very well.
Okay. Elaborate on that a little bit.
Well, like I was saying earlier, like his whole relationship with Joel and how he reacts to things is like completely different, and it's more like, it's like he's been influenced to be like, no, we have to have like, we're not really brothers anymore. We kind of have to have like boundaries.
Of course you did. Did you not not listen to the entire conversation that Maria was having?
Right.
That's
he's influenced by Maria. That but in the same sense, the game, Maria's like, hey, do we really need to do? Like, she kind of speaks up her mind a little bit and doesn't really agree with Joel. But Tommy is like, look, I love you, but he's my brother. You know what I mean? And like, and it would be the same thing for me. Like, I think about it if it was me in real life. Same thing with my brother. I'd be like, look, I love my wife, but it's my brother. Like, we've known each other for fucking how old are they? They got to know each other for at least like 30, 40 years. We've known each other for 40 years. Like, we're brothers. I have to help him. You know what I mean? Like, there's no
Right.
other choice, really.
It's family, bro.
Right? Exactly.
Well, even in the game, he initially didn't agree with Joel until after the Raider attack, right?
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Is
Yeah.
In
like
the game, yeah.
he didn't agree with Joel, but he still was like, look,
On the fence with it, yeah.
like I'm, I don't agree with, some of the things you're saying, but whatever you need me to do, I'm gonna do it, just because you're my brother. You know what I mean? And what, and it continues like that for the rest of, like, even in a part 2 when I'm not gonna,
Yeah.
When shit
Spoil too
happens.
much.
when shit happens, and he's like, look, I know the fuckers who did this. I don't care what happens. He's my brother. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get these fucking guys because that was my brother. But I feel like in this version of Tommy, there's no way he would be like, he would do that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
just from what we've seen currently.
yeah, there's no
And
way.
honestly,
Like,
even if they change it just because they did it on this episode, like I don't think I would believe you.
yeah, I wouldn't believe it. I'd be
Hmm.
like, that's not how. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way he could just instantly, like, his brother is already on the cusp of, like, look, I might get fucking killed because I'm old and I can't fucking do this. I'm too old for this shit, basically.
Yeah.
And he's like, look, I'm sorry, but I can't help you. Like,
Yeah.
until he finds out that Ellie is
You
the savior of humanity or whatever.
Potential savior.
Right.
Yeah.
But without that, with just their relationship and just them being brothers, he wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No.
But like,
Which-
if that wasn't good enough, then
Right. Exactly.
nothing
It's like,
should be good enough.
right. So
Right.
there's no way that, like, he's gonna, and I'm gonna believe that in season 2 he's gonna be like, I'm fucking, whatever, I'm gonna go fuck up some shit because I love Joel so much and I should have done, it's just, I don't know.
You are riding that line very, very fucking
Yeah, it's-
hard, brother.
Yeah.
Like,
Either.
anybody that's reading between the lines should be able to tell what the hell
Yeah.
we're talking about. But all right, so I do agree with you about it. I think that this story overall is supposed to be about the relationships between people, right? The relationship between Joel and Tess, relationship between Ellie and Joel, Ellie and Tess, Bill and Frank,
Tommy and Joel.
everybody, everybody that gets
Yep.
introduced along the way.
Yeah.
The story is supposed to be about the relationships and how relationships exist within this particular world, and all of the existential things that affect it with the
Yeah.
zombies and shit. And this relationship that they are building between Tommy and Joel in the show is not following one that is not following one that would produce the same effect and bond that was produced out of the relationships built in the game.
Right.
And it could, depending on how they write the story for the show, it could affect things like in the show.
Yeah.
Which I'm afraid of, because I feel like I want them to not, I don't know. I'm not gonna bring it up again.
I don't want them to change. Like, I want the end of the Last of Us game to be the end of the Last of Us show.
Right.
Like, I mean, obviously not like shot for shot, rip straight out, but I don't want anything major changed. I want the same ending that we got from The Last of Us, because that's the whole game.
Yeah.
Like, that's what made the game worth it. That's what
Yeah.
made the game so incredible, was the way that it ended.
But
And if they don't deliver on that, then this whole show is for nothing.
yeah, I mean, I feel like with the way the story is and how much they're changing with the characters, even if they do that ending, I feel like it just won't have the same impact.
Well, it's hard.
It's-
It's hard to do that
yeah.
ending with like I said, it's the relationships that they're building and the way that Ellie is. Like, it's going to be hard to do that ending
ending just seems
unless something changes.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Hopefully, with the
Yeah.
next 2 episodes, something like what we think should happen is going to happen, and
3 episodes. We have 3 episodes.
three episodes. Sorry, Well, next two is where the Ellie in the game Ellie has a huge the whole event happens with those
Right.
raiders or blah blah blah. Not gonna spoil it too much,
Nice.
but
Good job.
sorry. I
Yeah.
mean, it's predictable, but
Well, okay, so let's wrap up this episode with what happens at the university. They make it to the university down in Colorado, and obviously the firefighters aren't there
Yeah.
anymore for whatever reason, and they get attacked by some. In the game, it's raiders, right? It's a party of raiders.
yeah.
In this, I guess they're raiders.
Well,
In the
they're
show.
they're called hunters in the game, but I don't.
It's
know if
just
that really makes any
people
fucking
looking for
difference.
supplies.
They're
What the-
Yeah, it was
Scavengers.
literally like 3 people.
So this
I
is
was
this
just
is
like,
yeah, this is what I did not like about this episode. This was the one thing that I was
Okay.
like, this is probably going to bring it down to 8 for me. Was this last quarter of the episode? I really didn't like. I appreciate that they are at the end of the episode kind of trying to form Ellie and Joel's relationship back together and bring it back to the relationship that we know and love from
yeah,
the game.
them riding on the horse down there in the conversation that they had was great.
Yeah.
I
Right.
loved it.
I like that, but I was also kind of not jarred, but like it was such a 180 in within like a 1 minute span of time from how Ellie was acting this entire episode to
Yeah.
just like Zachy was saying earlier.
yeah, Kid Ellie,
It's just-
basically the Ellie we know.
to just completely switching over. It was like this is not like
yeah,
this is how she is in the game, and it's like kind of from the
Innocent,
game,
Yeah,
but
innocent.
it's not the same character because she
Yeah.
was like acting like a complete bitch the rest of this. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the rest of this
Yep.
episode up until literally the minute between they have the argument at the house and Joel's like we're going our separate ways. And
So we're going the same way.
right, and then
Yeah.
the literally 30 seconds later, that being like, "Well, you have a choice. You want to come with me? That's fine." And then she's like, "Okay, let's go." And then it's like, you know what I mean? So that was kind of I was like, this, I enjoyed the Ellie that's like how it was when they're riding on the
Asking
horse,
questions and
Being
I
innocent.
don't-
wanting to.
but it doesn't match what how the Ellie was the rest of the episode, and it really
And
just
because it doesn't match,
it pulled me out.
Bugs you.
Yeah.
it pulled me out immediately. I was like, "There's no fucking way that." Anyway,
So I argued with my girlfriend. She said you can.
Unless she's bipolar or something.
I mean,
don't know.
in the game she's not. I mean, someone could argue that maybe just because she's with Joel, she's different, but I don't know. That doesn't seem right to me. Like, you got to be real. Like, even when we think about it, every scene she's with Joel, she seems like the Ellie we knew. Pretty most of the time. But
I just
that's what my
I don't
girlfriend
even
told
know
me.
if there's-
It's-
so
There's a lot of it. There's a lot of situations where she is with Joel.
That's
and
true.
She's not. Like the like
cafeteria
lunch scene,
Yeah,
the cafeteria
lunch
scene.
scene,
Like she's
cafeteria.
sitting right next to Joel. Joel is literally telling her like, "Hey, stop being a bitch." I mean, he doesn't say that, but might as well.
no, he does.
And she's like, she still is.
Yeah.
So like, I don't
Yeah.
think there's any.
So that
No,
really
anything
didn't,
to that argument.
like you said earlier. That kind of is starting to show me that I'm not going to believe it when she's like 180ing her character
Yeah.
disposition within a split second. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and it's not going to feel the same in these character moments that are straight from the game because of the way she acts 95% of the rest of the time.
You would talk about
Yeah.
the real tragedy of this scene.
What?
No giraffes.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's the real tragedy. You know? There's no giraffe scene. That's the best part of the game.
It's true.
Explain to the viewers that have never played the game.
So in the
What
game,
you're
when they're
talking
going through
about.
Boston, there's a little scene when they're walking through a building that has an opening to look the city. The little
The
herd of-
Colorado.
Colorado University. Sorry,
yeah, not
Boston,
Boston.
my
I was
bad.
like, what?
ignore that. But there's a scene in the game where you see a bunch of grazing giraffes that escape from the zoo, and you actually get to go and pet the giraffes, which is the best part of the game. And anyone says otherwise, you're wrong, because who doesn't want to pet a giraffe?
Yeah, but in the show they had monkeys.
They had monkeys in the game too.
Yeah, but in the show they had monkeys.
Yeah.
There were the actual
Yeah.
scientists there.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
said. The scientists actually turned themselves into monkeys.
Yeah, accidentally. That's why the school was banned.
Yeah, I really didn't. So yeah, from that point on, like, it was cool seeing the university and everything, but outside of the set design, I didn't like how this whole thing went down.
That's a fair point.
I thought it was way.
Yeah, I was like, why is there only 3 of them?
Yeah, I thought it was
Like, what is
like
this?
way less like stressful than like it was like it didn't have any sense of urgency really. It was just like four
It was
dudes.
too easy for them. They walked downstairs. They went out the
Yeah.
same entrance they came in.
It was literally 1 minute of like
Yeah.
of confrontation, and that was it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of a waste. I don't know. I'm kind of really disappointed in how they're doing these
Fight scenes. I guess you
not
would call
fight
them.
scenes, but just the
Well, just
confrontation.
interaction with
Yeah.
the confrontation with raiders, or I guess in this case hunters, or whatever they're called.
Like the only
They do
urgency was when they're trying to get on the horse. Like there was
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
urgency of them trying to get out of the hospital, get to the horse. It was just they got to the horse and then they were like, "Okay, we gotta go. Fuck shit!" And they're like trying to, But then it was like,
then they were just kind of
Yeah.
right,
being stupid,
exactly.
Yeah,
But like,
I'm not a fan of the fact that, I don't know, like in the game, there's all these moments of you having to hide, or distract, or use your
or literally fight for
you-
your life. Literally,
Yeah.
you are like struggling to stop someone from fucking murdering you brutally, like up close and personal. You know what I mean? And none of that.
and none of that is coming through.
Right.
in
What
the
does I feel
show.
like? Not
There's-
at all.
The dude fucking is like, "Oh shit," and tries to hit him with a baseball bat, and then the fucking baseball bat breaks, and then he stabs him with the baseball bat right in the
Yeah.
gut. And Joel doesn't feel it because he's all adrenaline down. He fucking snaps the guy's neck or whatever, and that's it.
Yeah.
And there's no like, that was 1 minute. Like, I'm having an aneurysm trying to fucking like.
I was like, "Are you okay, bud?"
Like, I can't like describe how disappointing it is to just be like, okay, well,
Yeah.
like knowing what happens in the game, to having it translated this way on screen, and then being like, okay, well now it's done. Like, it's just like,
It seems like they're spending so much time on character development and rewriting the story and the things that they got to do in order to make the new story that they wrote work.
Yeah.
That they're missing out on a lot of these key like interactions and fight scenes, because like the game, the game is a story game, where it's telling a story, but you fight a lot
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
game. Like,
even
you-
when
you fight
you're
a lot
not
of things.
personally in control, because I know this is a show and you can't control a character,
Yeah.
but when you're not personally in control, there are plenty of like scenes that meld directly into the combat where it turns into a cutscene and you literally are like getting fucking killed, and like you're like sitting there like, oh no, like survive, like don't die, you know what I mean? And like, and then Joel or Ellie like comes out of it, and then it's like, oh shit, holy fuck, and you're not doing anything, but it's like, that's more stressful just watching that than it was watching this fucking 20-second scene of them trying to get on this goddamn horse. When in the game, they're like trying to get out of the fucking university, and then some dude just jumps out and he's like, fuck you, and he fucking kicks Joel down like 3 flights of fucking hallways, and he slams into the ground, and a fucking rebarb goes through his fucking stomach,
Yeah.
and he's like, oh shit,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh my fucking god, and it's like, you're like, I'm fucking dead, there's no way, you know what I mean? And then like in the
Yeah.
show, it's just kind of like, oh fuck, he got
That's
kind
the-
of stabbed. Like, he wasn't like fully stabbed, he got a little bit stabbed. Like,
I mean,
it didn't even go
they
through
don't
his
have a
whole
stab,
body.
but-
Right, but I'm just saying that, like, it was just, it's not as, like, I wasn't, like, on the edge of my seat, like, oh, fuck,
No,
you know what I mean?
It was a
Like,
garbage ass fucking fight scene.
Exactly.
Or if you want to call it that.
like,
the biggest thing that I didn't like about it was that it was 3 people, and
Yeah.
you didn't get any like dialogue for them
No.
at all.
yeah, and it was basically,
And that's
there's
one
only
of the-
confrontation
that-
with one of them. Not even all 3 of them
That's
was there.
part of, to me, that's kind of like part of what makes the Raiders and stuff so like there's so much gravity to them, because you hear them talking about like they're like, oh, I'm gonna fuck you up when I find you and shit like that, like as you're like running away
Yeah.
from them and stuff in the game. Like they would say stuff that like is kind of nuts.
Yeah,
Like,
and they
it's
like talk to each other, and they're
scary
like, "She's over
shit,
here,"
yeah.
and they're like, "It's fucking."
Not even just that. It's just like
But there's
they
none
don't
of
feel
that.
human. Like they just feel like in NPCs in the game. Even if you
They're
don't,
little
yeah, in the game, like
NPCs,
you sneak up on them. They're actually having normal conversations. They're talking like normal, but in the show, it's just like it's just NPCs. It's just walking around with clubs and not
Yeah,
communicating.
they literally just looked out the window, and the guys were like, "We need supplies," and they're just like, "Why?" I'm like, "Okay, like, yeah, that's real." Yeah, 3 dudes walking around with pipes, real fucking like, I'm on the edge of my seat.
real
You know what I mean?
scary.
And you have a fucking gun. Come on, like, it's just like, dude.
Ellie has another scene of wasting bullets
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Just blind firing.
on the
Not to
back of
mention,
a
how did they
horse.
not see the guy walking up next to them until like the last second? You tell me that no
Yeah,
one
and
heard
yeah.
that? The crunching
Her
of
combat
leaves,
The last
ability-
second, I was like,
footsteps, and then
oh.
Joel, like he's
Yeah.
right behind
Her-
you. You couldn't see that like 10 seconds beforehand where he,
Why didn't you shoot his
Yeah,
ass?
like,
yeah,
what are you doing?
exactly.
like he's shoving the
I-
rifle in the bag. Like, no, just take the rifle with you and do it after if you're that urgent.
Yeah. She had a pistol the whole time. She could have just been like,
Yeah.
"Shit, bang," and fucking shot the dude before he even got near Joel. But it's like
Yep.
her combat ability in the fucking show is like 10
Abysmal.
times worse than
I
it
mean,
is in the fucking.
She doesn't
game.
even really, or she shouldn't really even have to shoot anything. Honestly, she could have just drew her weapon. Like I
Yeah.
would have stopped moving because
Yeah.
nobody
Yeah.
wants to get shot. They would have got on the
Exactly.
horse and ran away.
yeah.
But it's like she can't even fucking like do that correctly. I don't like. It's just
No,
at this
y-
point,
you're-
Joel
you're
has
right.
already
It's-
Joel has already taught her how to fucking shoot the sniper. Like it's not like how it was in the show where he's like,
Mm,
she
let me show
can't
you how.
shoot that gun.
Right, but I'm just saying in the game, like we've already gotten past the point where she knows how to
Oh.
shoot the sniper rifle.
Right.
There's a full fucking scene where he gives her the gun and he's like, "Okay, this is how you fire it. These guys are coming up to
Right.
fucking kill us. You can need to shoot these guys while I get in
Dude, I
there."
hated that scene. She's like, "It's not working right. It's something wrong
not-
with
yeah.
it. How do you know?
Something wrong
You
with
don't
this
even
gun."
know how to use it. How do you know what's wrong with it?"
Yeah, and that's why I was like, by this time in the game, she's already like way more qualified,
Way more proficient.
right?
Yeah.
To fucking
Way
do
more.
combat than in this fucking show. Like
Yeah.
he tries to teach her how to shoot a gun for like 10 seconds, and then he's like, "Well, let me do it. That's how you do it." And then it's like she didn't learn shit from that.
Yeah.
How the fuck? You did what the fuck, dude? Like it's just
What
I think what's happening a
To be
lot
fair,
is
she was kind of ignoring him, and so
Yeah.
then he was just like, "All right, well, get good."
yeah,
then he
and that's
just
the other
shows her
thing. Yeah, and
that
that's
she's
the other
wrong.
thing is in the show she has
Skill
like
issues?
she's just like, "Yeah, I just want the
Basically.
gun so I can be cool," but she doesn't actually want to like
no.
learn it. Like in the game, he's like, "Okay, this is how you do this. I need you to do like this is life or death. You need to fucking learn how to do this right now." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she's like,
Right.
"Okay." And she's like, I won't let, I'm going to do it. And then she fucking does it. In the show, she's like, the gun's fucked up. It's like, okay, but really?
Yeah.
This is a gun.
Like, yeah, exactly. She's like, "Well, this is a gun."
I think a lot of what is happening is that they're focusing on like these really specific elements of what made the game so great, and on paper and like initially it is great, like it's awesome to see, but as you dive deeper into like the functionality of the story and of the characters, it begins to break down upon itself, because you're not giving the characters and the story the substance it needs to be able to self-sustain itself,
Mm.
to self-sustain through these events that happen. And it makes me really worried about the ending of this season.
I actually almost feel like it's a writer that is given the opportunity to go back on his work and change things because he wants to, because people change.
Right.
And this is just an example of that. I think this same thing would happen if, say, like Token was still alive,
Yeah.
because he's frequently changed his stuff and constantly reworking stuff, because sometimes maybe there's like plot holes or whatever, just like things don't like mesh together in the universe or whatever.
Or he just doesn't like something.
Yeah, sometimes they just they experience more things in life, and then they're like, you know what, I don't like that, I'm gonna go back and change it. And this is kind of what it feels like here, where it's like little things are changing because I feel like he maybe just wanted to and doesn't like it anymore, and so since he's been given this opportunity, he's taking it and changing it, here and there how he likes it. And I agree, which I don't think it's gonna. I mean, I kind of said that before with with Neil Druckmann stuff, but I don't know if it's gonna end very well. I highly doubt it,
Yeah, I
but
don't think
we'll
so
just have
either.
to see.
Yeah. Now, well, we will see. We got 2 episodes left, or sorry, 3 episodes left. There's 3 episodes coming. We will do episode breakdowns of them for you guys, so stay tuned for that. But is there anything else you guys want to cover about episode 6, gentlemen?
I'm gonna say that after talking about it, my score is going down at an 8.
Okay,
Yeah,
sounds good.
it's just after kind of going through all that.
No, that's
shit
why
in
we
my
do
head.
this. That's why we do this. We can process what happened, talk about it, remember things that we
Yeah,
forgot.
it wasn't on the same level
Yeah.
as like the first
No.
episode or
Like
Yeah.
episode 1 through 4
even
was
episode.
amazing,
Yeah,
and then 5 and 6 kind of.
I don't know about
It just
amazing,
wasn't-
but it was definitely better.
yeah. Like there's been way better episodes, and this just it's not up to the same standard.
In
Yeah.
the end, though, I know we've been pretty negative in this episode, ladies and gentlemen, but in the end, I still am enjoying the show. It's not like I'm not done with it. Like I still want to find out what happened. I mean, I know what should happen. But I still want to find out how this rendition of it ends
Yeah.
and whatnot. And I think that there's still potential for it to pan out amazing as it was in the game.
Yeah.
So I am hopeful for that. But I think I'm starting to come to the side of the argument that things are looking a little bleaker than I first anticipated.
Then it first started, to be honest. When the first episode was,
Yeah.
First couple
episode
episodes,
was
some of them
amazing.
were pretty. Most things are pretty fire. Now it's kind of going downhill.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but overall,
Last
still
thing
positive.
I'll say, funny moment that I enjoyed is when Joe meets Tommy and Maria, and they're kind of like explaining, giving him a walkthrough of the town and stuff.
Yeah.
It was so funny because it's like, oh, you guys are communists, and he's like, oh, communists.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, and he's like, no. I'm like, that's literally communism. And she's like, yeah, we're
Yeah. And then
communists. I'm
Mariah's like, yeah, we are communists.
Yeah.
that's the definition of
The look Joel gives him is just like, really?
Yeah. Is that really, bro?
Because what? He was in the army, right? Tommy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They fought in
against-
Desert
yeah.
Storm.
So,
They didn't fight against communism. They fought against. They fought in Desert Storm.
Same
but
thing.
Yeah, we'll see how long this communist society lasts.
It never.
Well, she was
No.
They never do.
Democratic
Greed
elected
is-
on council, even though
yeah,
you know,
yeah. It was
Greed is
democratically
too
elected,
ingrained-
even though you're a communist, for sure.
Yeah.
yeah, it checks out.
Greed is too ingrained
Yeah.
into the human condition.
Yeah,
that
you guys definitely aren't
communism
having
just
people
doesn't
lined
work.
up and executed who don't agree with
No,
your
no, no,
votes.
no, no,
They
no,
did,
no.
they did do that already, right? I mean, they already
No, no,
leave
no,
people
no.
hanging up in trees, apparently, according to the Indian
No,
guys.
no. Oh, that was what
Yeah,
pissed me
right,
off
they were
too.
like,
was
"Oh,
they were
yeah."
like, oh, you got to pass the river of death, which is just a river, and then
Yeah.
they're like, oh, they have all these horrific things that no,
Nothing
There's
was there.
Yeah,
We
you
didn't
didn't
see a
see
single
a single
one.
one of
and
those
they were
things.
like,
Yeah.
oh, good, that means it's working. What do you mean it's working? You
Well,
guys
we
don't
just-
look scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
At
no
all.
bodies or anything anywhere. They made it to the fucking town perfectly fine.
Sorry, the one super minor nitpick. I don't know where you trade when Maria trades for the jacket to give to Ellie. Bro, where did you get this like brand new, like fresh out of the
Amazing
factory
jacket.
jacket?
You didn't know they made
To
it from
give that.
eggplants. They literally said an episode.
Oh, okay. Communism.
Eggplants.
Communism.
The power of
Communism. But
Oh my god.
Taylor, the answer to all of your questions is just communism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should go ahead and take down that American flag.
Yeah. Did you did you guys notice fucking little tiny nitpick for me, but I literally I was like, what the fuck when they're standing across the river of death or whatever, and it like opens the scene and a gunshot goes off, and literally 1 second later Ellie's like, see, there's nobody, and then he's like, okay, and they get up and they start walking. Like, you shot like literally half a second ago, and you're not gonna wait to see if someone comes out. You're just, all right, yeah, that's good enough.
Yeah, I did. I did.
I was like, what the fuck
pick
is
up on
that?
that. I
There's
was
no
like,
way, like, that's not tactical at all. You're just like,
yeah.
oh yeah, I guess nobody just fucking evaporated into midair and was like, hey, wait a second. You know what I mean? Give them like at least 10 minutes, you know? Like,
Right? Yeah. No, I did notice that too.
I was like, at that point, I was like, okay, you guys are going to cross the bridge and someone's going to come out and just fucking stab you and be like, see?
I was waiting for
Yeah,
it.
I was
waiting
like,
for something.
should have just waited
Yeah,
like
because
fucking
we
10
didn't
minutes.
even get the river scene.
Yeah, we didn't know.
Yeah,
We didn't get
we
the
didn't
river
even
scene.
get
No.
of them floating down the river and shit.
Oh yeah, Joe has a swimmer. I remember those scenes in the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
I missed those scenes.
Because Ellie is drowning and
She can't
you know,
swim.
Right,
Yeah.
because
Joe
she doesn't
has
know how to
Joe has
swim.
to swimmer
She
in the crate.
sucks at everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We haven't actually gotten any scenes of her
Yeah.
having to go into water and not being able to swim.
Yeah, she's.
You know what's funny
this
is, like-
you didn't know this is GTA.
Yeah.
You respawn.
you know what's funny is, like, I don't know, maybe I'm missing one, but like there haven't really been any scenes where Ellie has been in danger.
Yeah, where he has to like
Really?
actively go save her.
Where he's
Yeah.
gotta like really save her.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
think about it. Like the scene at the end in the University of Colorado, Joel is the one that gets stabbed.
Yeah.
He snaps the guy's neck, and the other guys run off. She's never directly in
No.
danger. Even when they're in Kansas City, like, she's never directly in danger. There's I guess when all the zombies are running and stuff, and he's sniping the zombies as she's running, but
That's
like,
the only scene.
Yeah, pretty much the only scene.
I'm more looking for, like, I want to see him manhandle the shit out of motherfuckers to save Ellie, because that's what happens.
Well,
in
let's
the
expand
game.
on that. There's no scene where she seems weak. How about that? Like, there's no scene
She's
where
just-
she
yeah.
seems like a child, a weak child. Even like the scenes where she's like Ellie from the game, they make her seem like so strong and so. She doesn't seem weak. She seems like what Joe should be. So, we'll see.
Well, I mean, I think we are all kind of on the same page that we're less optimistic than we were last week about the ending of the show, but that there still are some good elements to it, and there's still some good parts, some funny parts.
I'm hoping that the Joel being, using his fatherly instinct to save Ellie from imminent danger
He's showing
will
up
be rectified in
upcoming.
the upcoming episodes with whatever's going to happen at the climax. But I don't know. That could. We'll see, I guess, on whether or not that actually happens. I don't know.
Before I
Yeah, I
forget,
mean-
Kat wanted to ask you a question, to Ocean. So when Joel gets
Oh, okay.
stabbed, in the game it's different. You get stabbed
Yeah.
50 hands, it can't lift the rebar out of him. But when you get stabbed, wouldn't you want to leave the wound, the stab in you?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
good question. And this is like,
Of course, it's a show.
real
Yeah.
shit. Like in real life, ladies and gentlemen. If you ever get stabbed by something, right, and it's still inside you, like even if you get stabbed by a knife or something, if somebody stabs you and they don't take it out, if they leave it in you, leave that shit in there until you get to the hospital, because if you take whatever it is that was in your body out, all you're doing is just opening up a pathway for blood and shit to flow out of. If you leave it in there, there's actually a lot of documented cases of people leaving the whatever it is that entered their body, leaving it in there, actually saving them, because it keeps everything closed. And yeah, it's kind of like, without getting it too deep into like how your arteries and how like blood and stuff works, but yeah, if you get stabbed by something, leave it in there until you get to a hospital, and then when you get in the OR, they'll take it out, so they're there to suit your shit up right as they take it out.
In this particular
Yes.
situation, though, wouldn't it be better to take it out in
No.
the show?
Definitely not. Especially in a situation where they're trying to get away, because all that extra movement of them like trying to get on the horse and get the fuck out of there, all that's doing is just fucking flowing blood.
Wouldn't
Flowing
wouldn't
blood
you
out.
get damaged more from that staying in there?
There's a chance that it would do more damage, but the what you're most worried about is blood loss, right?
Yeah.
That's what's going to kill you the quickest.
You only have like
And
5 liters of
you're
blood in your body, right?
you have a little bit more than that, and it also depends on like how big you are. Joel's kind of a big
Yeah.
guy, so he probably has more than that. But um, no, so like yes, you are right that it can like cause more damage. You might tear a little bit more or cut a little bit more, but the the biggest thing that you're worried about is losing blood. And as soon as you take that thing out, there's nothing stopping blood from flowing, especially in the gut. Like you can't do anything about it. Like in them, like without an OR where they can open him up and actually suture shit closed, there's nothing they can do to stop the bleeding. There's no amount of pressure or packing or anything that's gonna stop a bleed in the abdomen. All of your blood in your entire body plus more can fit within your abdominal cavity, and won't be any dissension. Like you won't get bloated or anything. You can literally bleed out into your abdomen without even knowing, and nobody would know, which is kind of nuts.
So
if you
wouldn't
think
Joel
about
know
it.
that then?
That
Like,
fucking
wouldn't he
sucks.
know not to take it out of him? That's the point I'm
I
trying to
mean,
get at.
you're
You wouldn't. I
like, you would hope so.
mean,
You would hope so, but at the same time, in the heat of the
that's
moment, I
fair.
mean,
Yeah.
he just got stabbed by something. The natural reaction is to take it
Yeah.
out. Like your natural reaction, if something is inside you that's not supposed to be inside you, your natural reaction is to take it out. But medically wise, no,
Okay.
I would say leave it
That's fair.
So then, what would
Yeah.
be the solution?
in.
Die.
So the only
Well, I mean, that's not a
That's just
solution. That's just,
infected and you're dead. There's no
it's a result.
antibiotics. You're fucking
Not
dead.
that's just what's going to happen.
Yeah.
honestly, in a lot of those situations, um, like punctures to the abdominal cavity, and even to just to the trunk in general, a lot of those situations, if you're in that kind of environment where there is no hospital, there is no doctors that you can call on a moment's notice, it's pretty much a 50-50 shot. Like you're either going to survive, like your body's either going to naturally occlude it or not, because especially with a wound like that where the fucking bat, like it wasn't just a knife that
One little.
made
Yeah.
a slit into
That's why I
it
was
was a
asking, because
fucking
it's not like a rebar is one thing because it's a solid piece of metal,
Yeah.
but this is
Yeah.
a very very
Jagged
fucked up
Piece of wood.
piece of
weird.
wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that
Yeah,
staying in
so-
your body would almost certainly do a lot more damage riding a horse at a high speed than taking it out. I mean, I understand the whole blood loss thing, but either way, I
Yeah,
feel like
I-
you're fucked.
No, for sure. I mean, it's not good to leave it in, but like if I was in that situation, like if I was treating a patient in that situation and the world was what it was and I only had, what they had, I would have left it in until we got to a place where I could lay him down and control taking it out. I would have left it in. But
Well, I mean, you wouldn't have anything to do
right,
that.
and they did it. Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, like they don't have doctors. They don't have like anybody.
Yeah,
like,
well,
they
I'm just
themselves
asking because
don't know
I'm
how to fix
curious
that
for
shit.
next episode, like, because
Like, what are they gonna do
obviously
to fix
something's
him?
gonna happen, yes, and like,
Yeah, something has to happen,
well,
right?
it's
It's a
gonna
show.
be ridiculous.
I'm sure that
I
he's just
think-
gonna not lose
He
blood
can't
like
die.
he would in real life. It's just
Yeah,
gonna be
that's
like, oh, he's
fair.
only losing a little blood. And
Yeah.
that's
The good thing is the location of which he was stabbed. Right, the lower right section of your abdominal cavity does house the least vital things. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's like obviously your intestines and stuff is vital, but like that's like if he had stabbed on the other side, you're talking about like spleen, kidneys, stuff like that, and then a little bit higher is liver and all that stuff. If you stab somebody's liver, they're done for. Rupturing your liver is, yeah, bye bye. So as far as location goes, it's a good location for them to do this whole thing of like, oh, he got stabbed and he's like unable to, be Joel, but he's gonna survive. He's gonna be okay. But
Spoiler alert.
Well, yeah,
I
guys. If you
guess.
thought that Joel was dying, come on,
He doesn't
come
die.
on. Joel's not
come on,
gonna
Ocean,
die.
spoiling
in this
everything, my
episode.
lord.
Joel is never gonna die. Don't ever be
Okay.
scared about that, guys. Everybody, everybody, just
Main-
Joel's gonna be
main-
fine
Main characters never die. That's the
forever.
truth.
Yeah, he's gonna
Yeah,
grow
come on.
old and he'll just die of old age.
Yeah,
Nothing
definitely,
bad happens to
definitely.
Joel.
This is so bad. It's just-
But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what they do with it. I'm sure there's going to be some kind of movie magic involved, though.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he's gonna be healed in
That
2
would be my
days and
guess.
just perfectly fine after that. No problem. The wound will
2
disappear.
days. That's kind of long.
Yeah, it's going to be like a couple hours.
Yeah, usually within
probably.
5 hours, the bleeding stopped.
He wouldn't see.
Yeah, and usually
wound's
your
kinda healed.
abdominal muscles just kind of like grow back.
No.
Yeah,
No
Yeah, if,
problem,
if you squeeze
you
your
know?
abs, it closes the wound on its own. So that's how it works. Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
He
do
actually
a couple
uses,
sit-ups and you're good to go.
He
dog.
actually uses concentration breathing and
yeah.
stops the arteries. He's a demon slayer, if you
Yeah.
didn't know.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
All right, boys. Thanks for joining me on this episode, and I appreciate you guys being here talking about this. I'm looking forward to next week and continuing on with these weekly episodes. Thank you to you guys out there, all our viewers, all our subscribers. We really appreciate you guys sticking with us. Just so you guys know, we are coming up on our 1-year anniversary of the channel. I think we actually hit like the creation date of the channel 1-year anniversary, but our first video posting is coming up. The 1-year anniversary of that is coming up. So keep an eye out for something cool that we might do.
We'll
in
try.
regards to that. Yeah. But yeah, thank you guys. This has been a pretty awesome year, and if nothing else, it has created the opportunity for this to happen, for us as friends to be able to just talk and hang out and cruise, and
Yeah.
So thank you guys. We appreciate you. Please like, subscribe, comment, share with a friend. Check out our social media links down in the description below, as well as the other shows here on Anytime Media. And we'll catch you guys in the next episode.
Bye, guys.
Adios.
Bye.